This is a Nekko Media podcast.
What's your pleasure, sir?
What up, bitches and snitches, cinephiles and cinebites with Dono and Mox, and that bitch Annika P. Slutterilla fuckborn, bitch Carter Gwenzel, horse slut in chains, all around fuckface witch, who is too busy or whatever to be here to do her job, so I'm left picking up the pieces after her whirlwind as usual. I'm Schrody, with those lucid dreams, and this is episode 12, Love in the Time of Massacre. What the fuck? Is this gonna be a romance show?
I'm Mox at villainous_kind. And yes, there will be some romance flicks on this show. It's February, fuck it, lovey time month.
Yeah, I'm Ono. Thanks for stopping by. And yes, there will be love, there will be blood, massacre, and massacre as we get into the worst sex scenes in films during your namesake seg, Schrody.
Not predictable. February is also American Heart Month, Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, Oral Hygiene Awareness Month, and Black History Month.
African American History Month, you mean?
Yes. You could have themed the show on African American films instead of romance, in the spirit of February.
We'll do black films next, Feb.
African American.
Whatever, it's new America, son. You guys gotta get with it. As Trump is my witness, I will never teeter around political correctness again. Ever. Just because your life is broken without Annika, don't bring down the world. Own that misery. Besides, this year we got the Black Oscars supposed to be, so that's awesome. Hidden Figures is dope too. Black Oscars!
Slashtag!
Alright, welcome to this Slashtag configuration. Today we'll be talking about the newest and possibly final installment in the Resident Evil franchise.
The final chapter.
The final chapter. Written and directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, starring Mia Jovovich.
I know. I didn't know that until that thing.
Really?
Before that, yeah. I just was Jovovich like an idiot.
It's Mia Jovovich. Ali Larder.
Hell yeah.
Lane Guillen.
Nobody cares about the rest of the guys. Except that guy from Game of Thrones. Is that him? Lane?
Yeah. And Sean Roberts is Wesker. And we also have Ruby Rose.
Mm-hmm.
But-
Ruby Rose.
And it's rated R. This one was like the bloodiest of the Resident Evil franchise.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't recall. I just thought it was a violent or a bloody.
Quick summary of the movie. So this actually takes place right after the previous Resident Evil, which was
Oh, did that one take place in Washington, where they were led into a trap,
it actually ends in Washington. Yeah.
and they were led into that trap?
Well, we don't know it's a trap. We think it's going to be like a final standoff.
Oh, so the movie ends as they're leading the assault that they thought was going to be the liberation.
It's actually zombies. Yeah, doing it looked like a full-on battle against the White House because I think the president was alive.
And then it just ends there.
It ends there, and so we see Jill Valentine. I don't remember.
Oh, Jill Valentine was in that one?
Yeah, like she was at the end.
Damn, so I guess she must have...
She must have died, because I think we also have Chris Redfield, Leon Kennedy, and like all the
Leon too. Was everyone from the game in that
that
show?
last part, and then
I gotta rewatch that one then.
well, spoiler alert. Well, this actually takes place right after that. I guess one big explosion took out everything, because then we just see Alice just like emerging from like the ruins,
Rubble, yeah,
of this, which looked like a final standoff, and no one survived except her. But and then so we have, I guess, one final mission, because turns out the Red Queen is alive and well. We see a dot matrix printer.
Yeah, I know.
Like what?
Hello, Alice.
And so it turns out she is.
Hey, has the Red Queen always been a thing? They've always called it the Red Queen?
I believe so. I thought there was mention of a White Queen, but I think it's just a Red Queen.
The Red Queen is from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
She always needed to keep running, but would never get anywhere.
So like, yeah, I mean, the whole Alice in Wonderland was very
Is that a thing? Is that a theme in Resident Evil?
Yeah.
Oh.
So like during
literally they climb through
the rabbit hole. They go down, and so she has to go back. Yeah. So like throughout the filming of the first movie, I think Paul W.S. Anderson asked the cast to read Alice in Wonderland. So you'll see themes like the cat.
If I'm an actor, I'd be like, "Fuck, give me the cliff notes, son."
Well, I think with Alice, right, the watch, the timer. I think there's a character who's always looking at the time.
Yeah, that rabbit, right?
Is it the rabbit? Yeah. So they go back down the rabbit hole. I think that's also a common theme in a lot of Anderson's movies. But
the Event Horizon literally is going through a rabbit hole.
Yeah. But so the Red Queen is actually fighting back Umbrella, and she gives Alice some info
about an antivirus.
An airborne antivirus that will kill off the infection.
Yeah, of the T-virus.
Yeah, around the whole world.
If it goes viral.
Yeah.
First you watch it, then you die.
So she actually has a time limit, time set.
48 hours.
Yeah, and so that's her going back to the hive. She has to go back to the hive and finish it off, and that's the whole movie. And
literally, that is the whole movie.
Yeah. So the movie is nonstop action.
It really is. I mean,
it's once it starts, they really did save the best for last.
It is high octane.
Yeah, and
it's silly. It gets silly at some parts, and then you laugh at a lot of the character deaths. But I mean, other than one long exposition scene, I mean, it's basically opens up with action. You know, action. More action.
You see
zombie
little bits
dogs.
of Anderson's movies. I feel like there's like a little bit of Death Race in there, just with those tanks. It was just.
Ooh yeah, one's pretty Death Racy.
But it's going so slow that they tail the tank with like.
They have someone tethered to it, and they're like bait, so that the hordes of zombies.
And there's a lot of zombies in this one.
Yeah,
a lot.
But I feel like they're only running on the road.
Yeah. Are they really all chasing after this one?
Yeah, just on the road. Like, I mean, there's lots of green lands to the side of the road they can run on, but whatever. So, I mean, if you like action, and they don't take it over the top too. There's no slow motion, unnecessary bullshit either. I like that.
Yes, well, they do get very calculated though. Like they have like software and like their
oh yeah,
contacts.
they do. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
They do like predictive kind of things where you get to see as one character is
different scenarios
of how to play out, and then the antagonist does the same thing too. So I don't know how I feel about that, but because they introduce it late, even though they bring it back again
out of nowhere. Yeah, it's like, okay, now they're doing this.
You're right.
It's like it's kind of like in Extinction, where they have the different clones and they kind of repeat the same scenario of like if Alice were to go one way, like, and then you see a whole horde of dead Alice bodies.
Oh, I don't even remember Extinction, but
okay.
I'll take your word for it.
But they do that in Sherlock Holmes too. Well,
yeah, in Sherlock Holmes I liked it though.
Yeah, his is more actual calculation, but like it's got to be so fast.
Well, it deals with his character too. I mean, out of nowhere, Alice is like calculating it and running the numbers.
Yeah, and then Dr. Isaacs. There's a few surprises in this one that kind of connect the previous two movies, and you kind of go, oh. But I mean, and with regards to the games, connection to the games, it's so far-fetched already that it's just nothing to do with the games at this point, aside from some key
Claire Redfield.
But I mean, with
looking
regards
hot as shit, man. Ali Larter looking good with that red hair.
Yes.
And no real skin, just like a cool red leather jacket and like a wife beater.
Props to her costume designer for giving her that outfit.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
More is less in this. Well, more is.
But she was looking good. She's looking good.
Super good, man.
Timeless.
Super timeless. I think this, to me, is sexier than her in the whipped cream bathing suit.
Varsity Blues?
Yeah.
You have to bring that
Just
up.
one Jedi's opinion.
And probably, this is my favorite movie of the Resident Evil franchise. And probably my favorite movie so far of 2017.
Easily, but I mean, we're 4 weeks in.
Yeah.
And we've done, 2 Slashtag's and they both suck balls.
No, I enjoyed both of those movies.
Your opinion means nothing to our viewers. You've never given a thumbs down, no watch.
But in this movie, they open up with a special message from Mia Jovovich and Paul.
Thanking, it looks like a movement with the whole hashtag.
Yeah, I want to
creativity.
thank them for
Acknowledging
an awesome job on all the movies. Paul W. Anderson has written all the movies, and he didn't direct Apocalypse or Extinction either, though. But everything else he did, and I just want to thank them. Amazing. This first movie came out in 2002.
that was dope.
That was dope. Apocalypse I saw in theaters. I couldn't see Extinction in theaters because I was broke. Like I was broke like a joke. Like I couldn't even watch
Selling ass on street corners, bro.
Oh my god. And so then I didn't see the next two movies in theaters. But this one, woo.
Actually, I think this is the first one that I've seen in theaters since maybe the first one.
Oh wow. Oh, okay.
I did not enjoy this franchise.
There's one point in this movie where I thought it got a little too Event Horizon ish, just because it was getting a little too violent or too bloody. I'd say it was like a little too bloody, and it could have passed for a deleted scene from that movie.
I'd love to see the bonus features though and deleted. I feel like this would have been a better movie, but not for the masses if they included the director's footage. Because so many people get killed and you just don't know or give a fuck about them. It's like no fucks given. Except for one chick who they just linger on so long. She's about to get murdered, but then they catch her. Oh, she slips. They catch her again. They hold on it, and then she gets murked. And then you're like, what the fuck? They really focused on that.
They try to build the tension.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
I felt like there was a save imminent. You know, there's no way they would suspend you that long and then, oh, she died. But she does die.
There are quite a few of those kind of high tension.
They bring
moments.
back the dogs, although now they call them zebras.
Yeah. And just random, just killing off characters left and right. Like, you kind of get invested in them, but then it's like, oh, okay. There's no, they're going merciless. No mercy in this one. No one is safe.
Yeah, no one is safe, really. Except Alice, right?
But I have to say, yes, you'll watch CC with this one.
Agreed. You'll watch CC. So, is Annika still with that dude?
Awkward segue.
Is she still with Jeremy? Yeah. He's slipping her that bone dragon daily and nightly.
Will it ever stop?
Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow.
To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up the stage and watch it jump like a candle.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck that bitch. Fuck that faggot name. Fuck Jeremy.
Seriously though, he's getting all up in that kitty.
King Jeremy the Wicked.
Oh, rude his girl. Jeremy, fuck that. Fuck that. Jeremy, fuck that. Fuck that. Jeremy, fuck that. Ass today.
You guys are dumb. No wonder you're losing listeners.
So,
We don't do this for listeners.
we do this for Odin and Valhalla.
White power!
Kicking and streaming.
Das ist Sparta!
Alright, for this kicking and streaming, I have a recommendation that is pretty good. Rock This Boat, New Kids on the Block. Season 1 is currently streaming on Netflix, which was released in 2015. So this...
That long ago?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the first season.
What network?
It's actually a Pop TV, they call it.
But Netflix just acquired it.
Yeah, so it's on Netflix right now. And then season 2 is currently available to purchase on Prime. 2 seasons, but the cruise has been around for about 7 years total. Yeah. So this is a reality show focused on the New Kids on the Block cruise now. Since their reunion in 2008, the band started in 2009, I believe. They will do a 4-day cruise that's specifically themed as a New Kids on the Block cruise, or NKOTB for short. This cruise was pretty much made for the fans, and when I say themed NKOTB cruise, it really is straight up a New Kids cruise. There's a sail-off party, and the whole band performs while the boat sails away, and from the looks of it, the party doesn't really stop until the boat docks. So it's 24 hours, like these guys, they don't sleep. So if you've been on the cruise before, you know there's just activities going on at all times of the day. Some activities on the cruise include, for the new kids cruise, Joey McIntyre does this Duets at Dawn show where he chooses 5 or 6 passengers / fans. But let's be real, every passenger on the boat is a fan of the band. And he does duets with them. No prizes involved or anything, but I guess it's just an opportunity to perform on stage with Joey. There's also a photo shoot with the band, and this is where you're guaranteed a photo with the band, so that means the line is long as hell. All hell. Maybe the length of the boat.
Disneyland kind.
Yeah. And this is probably the hardest day of the cruise because for both fans and the band, because it can last up to even 6 to 8 hours, just people in line taking photos. So there's a strict process for this. So there's 10 fans for each photo, 2 fans to each new kid, and 2 pictures are taken. So once those are taken, you have to move right along. So you can't really choose which new kid you want to take the photo with. It's got to be timed when you get in line. And so there are groups in line who are already set up, but you can mix and match with different groups if you want to have your picture taken with a certain new kid. So other activities on the boat include Donnie Wahlberg's after parties, which start at like 2 or 3 a.m. until the sun comes up. But these are exclusive, so he's the one that hands out the passes or bracelets. But the new kids do perform and put on shows each night, and it's themed. So there's like 80s night, you dress up as your favorite TV character, or a night where everyone wears white, and the crowd just looks fantastic in this one. There's also Cowboy Night, but some blockheads, and those are the supreme new kid fans. They're called blockheads. They dress up as cows to make it, interesting, I guess. So within this 4-day cruise, there's one stop at like a tropical island just for the day. People get to go off the ship and stretch their legs, do some fun activities while on land and such. Or some might be using the day to recover because Donnie was up all night partying and drinking. And the boat does a U-turn and they head back to the dock. There's of course more partying to do on the way back. I mean, seriously, you can't sleep on this trip or you'll lose out. Sounds like a hell of a time. So that's just the cruise. So the show has a reality show template focused on several groups of hardcore New Kids fans, or at least most of them. I'll explain that in a bit. But they're all different and unique, different agendas, but they're all there to have a good time though. And they're interviewed throughout the series, sharing stories and speaking on events that happened on the trip. In season 1, we have 2 sisters, one who saved up the whole year working double so she could bring her other sister along. Another group is a group of single moms who've always loved the band. Some of these groups have had a sort of, like...
They wonder why they're single moms.
They have like bad, kind of like sad stories, but lots of personal issues, and they're all hoping to go on this trip to kind of recover from all of that.
Are they all from Boston?
No. They're all from all over the world, but season 2, there's a Boston couple. There's also this one group of like Scotsmen who with intentions to like meet women. They know there's gonna be 100 single women on the board, but on the boat.
Yeah, desperate fan, single mom women.
I'd say for those guys, though, I think it was kind of a waste of money, especially if you don't know the band at all.
Yeah, just go on a singles cruise, idiots.
Yeah, y'all must have had a lot of dough to spend on for sure.
Well, the Scots.
Yeah, and you think everyone being a New Kid fan though is everyone's happy? Nope. Drama ensues. It can get pretty bad, but it resolves and everyone has a happy ending for sure. There's also there's a couple that got married on this trip. And that was pretty cool because everyone was so happy. Joey McIntyre walked the bride down the aisle, and Donnie Wahlberg officiated the wedding.
Was Jenny McCarthy there?
Not in that season. She was there in season 2 though. And you got to give it up to the new kids because when they say that this cruise is for the fans, they don't disappoint. They're always willing to take selfies. Lots of crowd interaction.
That's cool.
Yeah, and also passengers are encouraged to decorate their doors, to their cabins with new kids paraphernalia. The most decorated, the more likely a new kid might stop by and knock on your door. There will be times though when a new kid is just strolling down the hall and signing stuff on your doors. So coming to meet you, just be prepared because you never know. That's how much the band loves their fans and how appreciative they are of you. Even after a 15-year break, the fans have always stuck by. And it shows. I think every year since this cruise has been on, it's always sold out. That's 3,000 passengers. And you know the cruises are pretty pricey. There's 9 episodes in season 1, about 20 to 25 minutes per episode, and it's just fun to watch all the different kinds of fans out there. It's a wide range of blockheads. Season 2 is also out, which was released in 2016. This one, it's a bit different because now we get a glimpse behind the scenes with the band members themselves. They get to speak out on events as well, and we also get a new group of blockheads in this one.
Do we get to see performances at all of the greatest hits, or?
We get to see some performances, but it's not like the actual performance. They cut it so that there's talking in between and stuff. So yeah, but I would love to go on this cruise one day. Who is with me?
Single
this
dad
bone.
already.
New kids on the block.
Unafraid, single dad.
You watch CC.
I love the new kids and all, but that just seems extreme, bro, for a grown ass man. That's worse than comics on the wall.
It's for the first.
Jordan McKnight or whatever on your wall. Ugh. Well, that's something less gay, but still like, what the fuck? I have a Chinese movie called In the Mood for Love. It is directed by Kar Wai Wong. Also written by him, too. It stars Tony Leung and Maggie Cheung. Neighbors, a man and a woman, Chao Mo-wan and Su Li-jin, form a strong bond when they suspect their spouses of extramarital affairs. But they agree to keep their relationship platonic so as not to be guilty like their spouses. The film is set in the 60s in Hong Kong. Chao Mo-wan is an editor, and he and his wife move in next door to Su Li-jin and her husband. She is some sort of secretary, and he is some sort of executive. So their spouses are away often, and the two of them start spending a lot of time together, finding that they share a lot of things in common, such as a mutual interest in martial arts serials, which I guess is episodic martial arts stories. He's writing some and asks her to help him. They do so in his apartment, and the increasing amount of time they spend together does not go unnoticed by the other tenants on the floor, especially the nosy-ass landlady. In fact, at one point, Li Jin gets trapped inside Mo-wan's place for what seems like days because there's a marathon game of mahjong going on at the end of the hall, which is sort of like a resident gathering area for food, games, conversations, etc. That reminds me of Split, etc. The serials become so popular that the demand increases to the point where Mo-wan rents a separate apartment so they can write there without being scrutinized by the landlady. Their attachment grows and deepens, and of course, the reality of reality sets in and their spouses return. Without intending or realizing, Mo-wan finds that he's fallen for Li Jin and wants her to move with him to Singapore. Blah, 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 blah. Watch the movie to see what happens. So, while this film will not make the top 10 on most of my lists, it would garner a spot for cinematography. Christopher Doyle has shot a bunch of beautiful pictures. 2046, which is a sci-fi joint based on the year Hong Kong was supposed to be returned to China. It also stars Tony Leung playing again Chao Mo-wan. Also, the apartment he rented separately just to be a writing space for him and Li Jin in The Mood for Love just so happened to be the apartment 2046. Anyway, Doyle also shot the horror Dumplings, a movie called Last Life in Universe, a super depressing film that shows geckos way too much, Rabbit Proof Fence, The Quiet American, the Kung Fu Joint Hero, and the Billowing Sadness Ocean Heaven. It stars Jet Li not doing Kung Fu, but instead as a working class father dying of cancer or some shit, who struggles to prepare his adult son with autism for life without him. The way Chris Doyle shot In the Mood for Love is just fucking brilliant. Almost as a POV from Chao Mo-wan, who harkens back to this almost was love affair with fun haziness, but out of reach, like looking at an old picture in a dusty frame. Almost every shot for the first 15 minutes is a frame within a frame, meaning that the characters are framed by something within the camera frame, be it a doorway, hallway, window of some sort, mirror, etc. And he does that heavily to emphasize the whole looking back through a picture theme. The frame within a frame is used heavily throughout the film. Also, there are very few wide shots and no establishing shots, which further solidify the memory idea. You don't remember necessarily where you were, but you do remember who you were with and how you felt. But you do remember who you were with and how you felt, more than anything. And feeling is super cemented in this. Along with the no establishing and frame within frames, there are lots of close-ups.
and transitions from close-ups to close-ups, so much so that it is fucking claustrophobic. That sense of suffocation really works well with the subtlety of the acting and lack of action. This is really a less is more film, which manages to not go flat despite the talking heads. Because of the claustrophobic framing and aesthetic intimacy, the vice grip of the frame seems to squeeze the emotion like juice from a fruit. I initially thought this film would be better served as a play, but after watching the whole thing, this is definitely cinema. The micro-expressions that betray the dialogue and expose the subtext cannot be picked up from a distance. Also, the color palette is lush and blown out, deftly brushed in concert with the score. The violin trio speaks the emotion that the characters seethe but cannot express openly. This really is a badass film. It's nostalgic, metered longing for a time and a love that doesn't exist, and that may have never existed anywhere but in your mind. In the Mood of Love is available in full, in 720p resolution and absolutely free on YouTube. It's the Criterion edition, if that means anything. Definite you'll watch, CC.
On YouTube?
Yeah, actually, there's a bunch of Criterion films there. I don't know why.
Fucking new kids. You guys should be ashamed of yourself. And that Chinese shit? It's not enough bad. I might check that out.
Yeah, you and your cookie dough ice cream tub.
What's your problem with the new kids?
He doesn't have a problem with them. Like anyone with a heart, he probably loves them. He's just pissed about Annika and Jeremy. Like a cry girl little bitch.
Circling back to the so-called Black Oscars, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think it cheapens the accomplishments of the talent involved.
Me too.
High five, we agree on something. I think the actors and people that complained set everything up to fail, but I'm happy that it did not turn out to be that. Congrats to all the nominees. I think Taraji Henderson or whatever from Empire should have got a Best Actress nod for Return in Hidden Figures, a film I cannot speak highly enough about. But shit happens. I hate whiny fucks masquerading reverse racism as representation or lack thereof. Crybabies talking about whitewashing. Shut the fuck up. Make your own movies, bitches. Let Matt Damon fight dragons in China for whatever reason without making it a thing. Let Mulan be live action with whites. It's a shitty ass story no matter the color of poor fools in it. Also, what's wrong with racism? Fuck hate crimes and discrimination based on something as arbitrary as race, but ethnocentricity is inherent. Who doesn't feel that their people are a little bit better than other people? Or that their country or team or political party or whatever the fuck is just somehow better? It's okay to feel you're better than other people and to put your own, whoever you feel they are, first. Just don't shit on other peeps. So basically, fuck your couch. Also, America's number one. I don't care about facts. Oh my god, am I a Republican now?
No, I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, with if it's a good movie, it's a good movie. I don't care who's in it. If it's
What color? It's not, yeah.
if it works, it works.
Right.
It can't always be the film you want it to be.
Right. But if it works.
Yeah, it works. Yeah. So if it's with regards to roles, yeah, whoever, and it's not your choice.
Yeah.
It's up to the director, or I'm sure
Political.
it can get political, I guess, behind the scenes. But I mean, if it's a good movie, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Otherwise, make your own shit.
Yeah. And people should shut up, motherfuckers.
Have you been drinking that Four Loko? I feel like you're drunk and over caffeinated.
Like a fat panther talking about this fat this.
But yeah, with regards to Oscars too, I mean, there's some nominations I don't feel like were Oscar-worthy nominations.
I'm Austrian. Well, let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Well, they let Moana. Come on.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. But I mean, it's up against some bullshit. But I haven't seen Kubo and the Two Strings, and I want to, and I think I'm pulling for that one to win just because it looks dope. And it's that Leica animation.
Huh? Right.
Secular insanity.
Okay, for this secular insanity, I have the 1974 classic, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Directed by Tobe Hooper, written by Kim Henkel and Tobe Hooper, starring Marilyn Burns and a bunch of people only weirdo nerds care about. Okay, if you've never heard of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I don't know about you. Maybe you only read books and work at your mother's creepy roadside motel. If you've never seen this film, that I don't blame you. It's a hard movie to watch, lots of reasons. The acting is poor, save Marilyn Burns, except for the incessant screaming. The pace is slow, and if you're a millennial, you probably think the grainy film is a deal breaker right off the bat. For its many fails, this film succeeds on a lot of levels. The gritty aesthetic and pale tones paint a vivid portrait of horror. It seethes until finally exploding when that first dude wanders into the house and splatter room. Fool. Also, I think this was the first of its kind of bloody vacation horrors. I love the remake, mostly because I love Marcus Nispel's aesthetic, but his reworking is a more polished, better acted and directed, but less viscerally terrifying tale. Tobe Hooper does visceral and guttural terrifyingly terrific. His opening image is a hard one to top, not only for the remakes, sequels, and prequels that followed, but for just cinema in general. A slow pull on desecrated corpses fashioned to a cemetery monument in a macabre urban sculpture is visually stunning, and it sets the tone of the story brilliantly. It's an image that sticks with you. The characters, however, are so fucking blech, you can't give no fucks about them and root for the terrifying Texans. I love Texas. I always say, if I wasn't from Hawaii, I'd love to be from Texas. Country music, folk music, metal, the blues, open carry gun permits, barbecues, Stetson, spurs, sexy accents, guitars, Cadillacs, hillbilly cycles, large plots of land where you can murder and torture tourists to your heart's content. Fuck yeah. Anyway, for the Norman Bates of you out there that haven't heard of this film, I'll give you a short summary. Two siblings, Sally and her wheelchair-bound brother Franklin, travel with a few friends to go visit their grandfather's grave. They pass an old slaughterhouse, pick up a crazy hitchhiker, and shit goes fucked up from there. What the fuck about sticking to your itinerary? Do people not understand? I don't give a fuck if there's an abandoned baby on the side of the road. Leave that shit and get where you're going. Anyway, Sally and her friends take a detour into madness, and the rest is just classic. Like I said, short. My thoughts on this overrated masterpiece are best expressed in song. Fuck you. Your cattle, your food. Once upon a time in Texas, motherfuckers in a van, trying to go someplace or somewhere. They go inside my splatter room, splatter room, splatter room, splatter room, splatter room, splatter room. They just food. Splatter room, splatter room, splatter room, splatter room, splatter room, splatter room. Fuck a plan, fuck a destination, whatever you think you're gonna do. You ain't shit, this is Texas, and in Texas, you hippies look like food. Hippie food, hippie food, hippie food.
Fuck your bell bottom, bitch.
Hippie food. Time to get the chainsaw, time to get the meat hook, and you get the hammer for your ass. Time to get the chainsaw, time to get the hammer, and you get the meat hook for your ass.
Can't believe you didn't like the OG Chainsaw Massacre. Call yourself a horror fan.
I don't know, it just ain't scary, and the acting is atrocious. I liked it. I mean, I missed how it's so highly valued. That bitch screams literally the whole fucking movie. I was just like, shut up, bitch, die already. Leatherface, stop fucking around, weirdo, and get her ass. I'm not even gonna ask, I don't know if you liked it. You like everything.
Well, for this one, actually, I didn't see it, so no comment.
You miss good shit, but I mean, it's a film you can live without. I don't know about those fucking weirdos in the basement being like, oh, best movie ever, gotta watch it.
So, Annika.
Smooth. Nobody knows. Real natural.
Just wondering why that bitch gonna be here today, not like a give a fuck.
Obviously, you just keep bringing her up.
You still writing poems about her or what?
Fuck you!
Chill out, man. We know about broken hearts, right, Mox?
So true. Like they say, you can't get this age without a few broken hearts and scrambled eggs.
I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, it's Greek or whatever. Socrates!
That's not a thing.
Definitely not a thing.
If you assholes know about heartbreak, why you keep busting my balls?
My bad.
Yeah, my bad, Schrody. Let's do this seg, then we'll talk about your feelings.
Well, I'll have a good cry.
The shortest straw. I hope you both die.
Alright, for this shortest straw, I have the film El Ciclo, released in 2003, written and directed by Victor Garcia, who's done wonderful work. Director credits include Return to House on Haunted Hill, Mirrors 2, Hellraiser Revelations, and his more recent 2013's The Damned. El Ciclo stars a single actor, Jacob Torres. So the film opens up with someone opening up a fresh box of shotgun shells and loading it up, Then bam, we hear it being fired. Now, whoever was shot is now being bagged up, and soon after we see our protagonist, who goes by No Name, dumping the body down a flight of stairs to a basement area. The more odd part of this scene is that this guy's naked. We don't know why he's naked or what provoked him to kill this person. So he turns off the light and shuts the door. Next scene, we're in a kitchen area where the scene of the murder supposedly occurred. Now we see the blood on the wall and the weapon that was used. The whole kitchen is dirty, and it just feels like an overall filthy atmosphere. Now the guy begins cleaning the blood-stained wall and cleaning the shotgun as if he were cleaning dishes. Red rag and all, no sponge. So what we see on this guy though is that he looks beat up, exhausted, but also too really gnarly scar along his upper mid back, about the thoracic part of his spine. More on this in a bit though. Now he's going to town on this bloodstained wall and the shotgun. The film makes quick cuts between the two until he's finished, supposedly, but the kitchen still looks filthy. So now once that's done with, he goes to the bathroom, checks the medicine cabinet, and what does he find? A shaving razor. Now he fills the bathtub about halfway with water and settles in. Guess what he does next? Yep, he slices his wrist. And after a brief moment of just letting the blood flow, he begins to scream. And it's not what you think. He doesn't have second thoughts about what he's done or even screaming from his cut wrist. That scar on his back, yeah, it begins to tear itself open. I mean, something is ripping itself out. And this guy's screaming. Now what comes out? Another person. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. So the screen goes black for a moment, and then we see the guy, who is now dead, drop to the ground wrapped in clear plastic. The camera pans right and tilts upward to the top of the stairs, and who do we see? The same dude, naked. And that's El Ciclo, translated loosely to the cycle. Wicked, huh? So maybe this is Garcia's horrific view of hell, or that one part where you're suffering your most fearful image repeatedly for all eternity. I mean, you're living this. And that's pretty dark storytelling here. Very horrific. I felt it. And Garcia definitely brings that same atmosphere to his other works, especially in The Damned. And awesome job to Torres. Didn't utter a single word. His action spoke volumes in this short. Be sure to check this film out over and over and over again. Yo, watch CC.
That one sounds cool. I like Mirrors 2 and The Damned.
Fuck yeah, I love The Damned. I don't know about Return to House on Haunted Hill though.
So, Schrody, you want to talk more feelings?
You can talk to my knife. He's chatty.
I'll pass. Trailers? Anyone in particular you're looking forward to?
Yeah, everybody's looking forward to Covenant. Looks like there'll be like xenomorphs in it instead of just those bowlehead Viking motherfuckers from last time.
The engineers?
Yes, nerd, the engineers. They're cool, but how can you have Alien without fucking aliens?
It's because it was Prometheus, not aliens.
Same smell.
What's up on the ladder?
We're discussing the reasons why Annika dumped you. You're weird, broody, from a lower ranking gas order, and probably mostly because you're a sensey fuck that writes girl-ass poetry. We could be wrong, but could be political.
No. We're doing best and worst sex scenes. Speaking of sex scenes, I've been watching Nashville on Hulu, and there are very little sex scenes, and I appreciate that. Plus, the music is fucking great. Dope-ass harmonies. We should rock an open mic sometime, dude.
Yes, we definitely should.
You guys definitely should. You just have to learn how to play music and sing first. Minor details, but you guys totally should. I pay to throw trash at that. Shortest ladder.
I feel like when you're here, you should just introduce it as my ladder or the ladder, the ladder.
Third person ass motherfucker. Alright, we'll be talking on best and worst sex scenes in film.
For the Schrody.
I'm curious where this discussion will lead to because Mox hates them.
Bad places.
And we're not talking about porn now. No. Just your average, general Hollywood film. It's the same sport, but different league.
Nice analogy. I almost said anthology. I feel like sexy scenes are a worse distraction than cheerleaders prancing around while I'm trying to watch the fucking action. But worse, because in movies, they turn the camera on the cheerleaders, totally halting the game in progress. Get that shit out of my face. If I want naked rolling around people grunting, I'll just watch Japanese game shows.
Oh, well, There's one film that I do know of that kind of crossovers porn and indie film.
Oh, yeah?
I say crossover because there's
real sex.
real sex is going on in these scenes. And I read some articles online that said these are actually porn actresses in this film. The movie is called Baise Moi. I believe it's French. English title is Rape Me.
Wow.
One review described it as a more violent, sexualized Thelma and Louise. But this movie was in the foreign section at Tower Records.
That sounds horrible. Real, actual sex in a movie entitled Rape Me? Every time we talk on foreign shit, you bring up some shit about rape.
But what makes a sex scene important or even necessary?
By sex, do you mean rape scene?
Yeah, well, I agree with you on that. It's not necessary to be there. The scene itself can be implied, but like in horror films, I feel it gives the characters an extra, sense of vulnerability and tension if a death scene is about to occur during or even after the sex. For romance films, though, a sex scene would be just, I guess, a bonus feature. It can be romantic and a good movie without the sex scene. What do you think makes a sex scene necessary in a film?
Well, if used properly, the sex scene is a masterful tool in cinematic crafting, like David Cronenberg's use in that Viggo Mortensen one, History of Violence. The first time he has sex with his wife, Maria Bello, it's role-playing as cheerleader and football dude. It's fun, it's kind of hot. It's mainly a brilliant expository device that delivers necessary information without the characters turning into talking heads. Cronenberg takes it a step further in the second sex scene, after his wife discovers his past and that he's some mob killer named Joey. This time, the sex scene is much more violent and dark. This is a fuck scene. It exists not to show you how built Viggo is and showcase Maria's tits. It deepens the characters while pushing the plot forward. This is how you use a sex scene. But like any craft, the skill of the craftsman is where the efficacy hinges. You hand two dudes a hammer. One builds a house, the other murders his wife.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, I feel that if it's a movie about marital affairs, though, having a sex scene in the film has more of an impact on the audience than if it didn't have one. An example, The Good Girl with Jennifer Aniston and Jake Gyllenhaal. We see how passionate it is with Gyllenhaal and Aniston, and then later her relationship.
Work at Walmart equivalent?
Yeah,
Sorry,
department
but
store,
yeah,
for sure.
that's sad enough.
It is, yeah. Clearly, she's not happy, with her marriage, but regardless, she knows what she has to do, and then we see it at the end. But in romantic films, they don't need sex scenes. I guess depending on the intensity of the scene, they're not necessary at all. And Affair to Remember and Casablanca are prime examples of this.
Nice one, son. Got a little bit of romantic in that rapey mind.
That's the classics.
So rape.
Classics.
So rape. Yeah, my favorite romances of all time have no sex scenes. Not because I specifically sought out romances without sex. It just happens to work for the stories. Like, dude, imagine if Princess Bride had a sex scene. And it goes like, I'm looking for the man with 6 fingers. He killed my father. I trained all my life to avenge him. Then Roberts is like, that's cool. Hold up real quick. I gotta go smash this random chick. Inconceivable. I think your Good Girl example is a good one too, even though I didn't like the movie. The scenes contrast and provide the context of her emotional state through action. Cinema, motherfuckers, leave the talking for the stage.
Yes. Yeah. It was a pretty intense movie. The sex scenes in that one's pretty intense.
A little darker than I like to see Jennifer Aniston in, though.
Yeah. It was definitely. I mean, she was still.
Wasn't like pinned down and fuck, but was like a little raw.
It's raw, and it was just so passionate. I mean, I think, well, more like almost animalistic.
It was, but it's from the rape guy, so.
I'd say one good sex scene in the film is in Sideways. Between Thomas Hayden Church and Sandra Oh. I mean, when we see this scene, it's only for a brief moment, but it's pretty intense. And from that, we know what kind of person Church is. I mean, because later he hooks up with another woman, which later they're both caught by that woman's husband.
That was hilarious. That was a good one.
Yeah.
But how come Sandra Oh hasn't aged since Arliss?
Good guy, yeah. Timeless.
In the fucking 90s.
Timeless. But the one we didn't see with that woman is it's inferred by what Church said after running out. And it was pretty
the
funny.
husband one.
Yeah.
You just see the leg or something of the fat chick, right? From the restaurant.
We see who she is. And I think she was a much bigger woman, though.
Big lady. Yeah.
But it was pretty funny just because it was just really detailed imagery that we didn't have to see. That's just one brief sex scene which spoke volumes of Church's character. I mean, he did get nominated for an Oscar.
I mean, that's a good one too. I love Sideways. I love Alexander Payne. This is a leap, big time probably, but Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadyen.
Oh, I did not see that one.
You know, it's like on Prime, and I got the Blu-ray, but
Yeah, the timestamp, so I can just fast forward it to that. Yeah, whoa, he was right. Okay.
there's a scene where Elizabeth is leaving Mr. Bingley's estate with her family. She and Darcy banter a bit as he walks her to her carriage. She steps up and he grabs her hand and helps her up and in. She takes notice of this rather forward and potentially presumptuous gesture. As he walks back to the house, the camera follows tight on Darcy's hand as he repeatedly clenches and unclenches the hand that touched hers. I know this is a reach, but within Victorian context, an unmarried woman making physical contact with a man in public was tawdry. For me, this sex scene had all the effect that a good sex scene does. It was a turning point for the characters and the audience. The simple act of touching her betrayed his words up to that point, which were super judgy and taciturn, indicating how he really felt, pivoting the story and kickstarting the momentum.
Oh, wow. So who wrote Pride and Prejudice?
Well, originally Jane Austen.
Jane Austen,
Yeah,
okay.
Joe Wright directed that one, which is my favorite iteration of that movie.
The simple act of touching her.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very like Tennessee Williams.
Isn't it? Oh, that's not the bring my baby down.
No, like a is that Glass Menagerie?
Oh yeah,
I
Laura.
mean, that's like all symbolism though. Like
yeah,
when
yeah. And she's like all gimpy and shit with the gentleman collar.
Yeah, and like, yeah, it's just it's
Yeah, that's
symbolism.
all you need. But it's like so charged emotionally, right?
Woo.
I know,
Like,
dude, getting bothered. Yeah.
one sex scene that I think we both can agree on. That's the best sex scene ever.
If you think of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, Top Gun
Yes.
for sure. I mean,
For sure.
that was more of a music video though for Berlin than it was a sex scene. I mean, it
True.
wasn't
I forgot
tasteless.
the band, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't tasteless at all. It was
Hardly. Mostly because I mean, there was no nudity.
sultry.
And it wasn't a waste of screen time either, just because of the song. You know,
No, it was,
that's how good the song was. So good, in fact, it won an Oscar.
it did.
Yeah, it won for that one. Not Danger Zone.
Well,
Kenny Loggins, but you know. Yeah, if a scene has got to be gratuitous and irrelevant, that is the way to do it.
I loved it.
And I love that song, obviously, I guess.
Okay, so bad sex scenes. Okay, just to be clear, when I say bad sex scenes, I mean that scenes that aren't necessary in a film. Like you could take these scenes away, and the movie would still be the same, no effect at all. I'd say the biggest one would be Wild Things between Matt Dillon, Denise Richards, and Neve Campbell. I mean, there was a sex scene earlier in that film, and I think it was Richard's mother with a younger dude placed in the film purely for comical reasons. But I feel this threesome didn't need to happen on screen.
No.
Like it could have been cut short and replaced with something more intriguing or mysterious, to add to the overall kind of film noir vibe this film had. There are a lot of bad sex scenes, but I feel like this one was just purely all show rather than keeping with the integrity of the film.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Better yet, they should have replaced it, the sex scene, and after it was inferred that there was a threesome, with some kind of sexy sax interlude. That would have been the better. That would have been the bomb. Like a Lethal Weapon, like sax.
Sax interlude. That would have been hilarious. I imagine the shirtless buff dude from The Lost Boys doing it.
Fight to survive. That's it's kickboxer, right? Fight to survive.
Kumite. No, it's Bloodsport. Bloodsport. No.
That was
Bloodsport. Is that Blood?
Kumite. Yeah, it's because they're entering the Kumite, right?
We're just getting back to the 80s shirtless dude with his long flowing mane. He's like,
fuck saxophone. You want sexy and art is trumpet. Anyway, yeah, Wild Things sucked. The sex scenes, at least. Although I like the chipmunk-looking chick's fake titties.
Jesus.
Other worst in breed picks, Her, where the bad guy from Gladiator is jerking off while talking to his phone.
Oh wait, is that what he does?
Oh, yes.
Good God.
This, for me, is an interesting one because it fulfills the requisites of good sex scene makings, and it is Black Widow's voice, so that's sexy. But fuck! It is just so sad and creepy and... Ugh! I thought I'd love that movie because I can totally relate with loneliness and isolation, but fuck that movie. Another fail is Jane Campion's In the Cut.
At the piano?
well. This one had Mark Ruffalo.
Yes. This one had so
Right?
Yes.
Do you know this one too, dude? Oh,
Like it's like creepy dark. Like it was
Mark
like,
Ruffalo and Meg Ryan, right?
Yeah, Meg Ryan was totally different. Like I was like, oh, she's not the same. That's not You Got Mail.
No. Oh, she's just a teacher slut or something.
You Got Fetish or something.
Oh, God. You know I love the piano and Jane Campion, right? And Mark Ruffalo and Meg Ryan usually. But like you were saying, the sex in this piece of shit is disgusting dirty as opposed to sexy dirty. I think because the desperation and depression is just so thick, it just reminds you of back when you were a little boy and found out what sex was and then thought it was disgusting. In the Cut is a subversive piece of shit that regresses you to your most innocent and vulnerable. That's generally a success as far as cinema goes and art, I guess. But honestly, I do not want to be that affected or affected in that way by a movie.
All right. Any other favorite sex scenes in films? How about Color of the Night? It was just all sex in that. Sex, dinner, sex, and more sex.
I think it was just Color of Night, no?
Color of Night?
The
Maybe.
Color of Night?
Yeah, probably Color of Night, yeah. Well, it's odd because it deals with people who have mental health issues. And everyone is hooking up with the same girl. Spoiler.
Spoiler. Nobody cares about that piece of shit. Jane March looks like Schmeagol. So Bruce Willis fucking the fucking golem does nothing for me.
God damn. She's beautiful.
I like the sex scene in Gone Girl. Have you seen Gone Girl?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, David Fincher's son.
Woo.
In that, the bitch cunt wife played brilliantly by Rosamund Pike, who was also in 2005's Pride and Prejudice by Joe Wright. She plays it fucking brilliantly. So she's fucking Doogie Howser and then knife parties his ass as they're fucking. Bloody magnificent, son. I love the comedic effect of the sex in Team America, World Police, and The Bronze, and especially Out of Sight with J-Lo and Clooney.
Do they have sex in that one?
It's a scene. They don't, they're not like going at it, but
Oh, I just figured they're in the trunk together.
no. That's later at the hotel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Soderbergh goes back and forth between a conversation they're having in the hotel bar and then them making fuck in the hotel room. They are framed within a frame with snow falling outside of the window. It's a really sexy scene. They dodge the obvious skin, which I feel is porn. Tits, ass, pussy, that's porn. And boring visually to the animal, which is the part of my brain I want engaged during a cinematic sex scene. Leave that porn shit for when my reptile brain is in the light. Then it's all chainsaws and fake tits.
Sex scenes in films, I'm fine with it. Romantic movies, for sure, don't need them.
Yeah.
But they are more impactful in dramas and thrillers. It definitely makes for better or even worse for character development. And when I say even worse, I mean like when a character is going downhill.
Right.
Within the context of the story.
Yeah.
And it does for sure make a more intense storyline.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I think we talked about some good ones.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But there's tons of sex scenes out there, but like
That we've missed, yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't cover, like, obviously movies that sex is a main contributory of the film, like 9.5 Weeks and,
basic
Yeah,
Instinct.
Yeah, Basic Instinct.
Not
Basic, yeah.
not
John
all.
McTiernan.
John McTiernan, no.
Yeah,
Basic.
Basic was dope, though.
Yes, it was. Yeah. But that's another
Was that-
conversation for another day.
Yeah. We're doing McTiernan in the summer. Check it out.
What the fuck is your problem with sex scenes? They happen, bitch. Deal with it.
They're just unnecessary.
Yeah, but sort of like a lot of shit. Like, I don't hear you constantly ranting about gratuitous violence in films.
My boy's a fag, yo.
Hey, boy.
Fuck you guys. I just have taste.
So does the gay community. Gay boy.
Whatever's jealous, bitches. I think we should do like Movie Pod Squad with a 706 on fuck-worthy animated chicks.
I don't know, man. I'm with Beat Him and Colt 45. That's just a little...
By animated chicks, do you actually mean animated dudes?
Hey, Mox, was the hike up to Brokeback Mountain hard because you're super fat?
I just can't quit you.
Whatever. 706.
That was a good one. Double burn. Fat and gay.
Look, I think he's crying.
Cry girl, bitch.
The box. We came. Now you must come with us. Taste our pleasures.
All right, we're gonna go and do top 6
Movies about affairs.
Marital affairs. Marital affairs.
Oh, really? Just marital? Well, yeah.
Because no one likes a cheater.
No one does.
But it does drive a story, though. Like a really interesting one. And it can go into different directions. Like, make it funny or very dramatic or even thrillers.
Or like super romantic.
But then don't justify cheating.
Justify! Nah, but sometimes you're with the person you're with and it's for a greater good. But you need to just affair with the person you love.
Okay. Well, before we get started, if you hear this, our picks are different.
And if you hear this, it means our picks are the same. And now, top 6 marital affairs, go!
Alright, so at number 6, I have To Die For. With Nicole Kidman. See that one?
Matt, what's his face?
Matt Dillon.
Yeah.
There's also Joaquin Phoenix, Casey Affleck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In this one, it's not more affair-ish. Like Nicole Kidman's character is she wants that spotlight. She wants to be famous in tabloids and magazines. She just she wants that high life.
Any press is good press kind of girl.
Yeah, and the only affair she has, like, just to get Joaquin Phoenix's character, to get him to do stuff.
He's in high school, by the way, in this setting.
Yeah, they're in high school. Yeah, and she's an older woman. She's a married woman, but like there was no love. It didn't seem like her character and
her
between
character
Matt Dillon
is a sociopath.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't see sociopath. Like
she is. Like, just because you're a sociopath doesn't make you a full-blown murderer. But she can't feel things like normal people like you and I. She's just centered on one thing and is unaware or unbiased or uncaring of how it affects anyone else.
I guess so. Like, I figure she just had a goal, and I feel like her husband wasn't, like, because it seemed his character too wasn't, like, really supportive of her.
Deal, yeah.
And so, she could have just divorced him.
Yeah, but that's a sociopath thing.
Yeah. But, like, yeah.
That would have hurt her worse if she divorced him, because he had, like, a starting point, right?
Yeah.
She was just some trailer trash girl named Jenny, probably.
Well, I think there was a moment, after he was killed, she saw that opportunity to get in that spotlight.
Like a spotlight, darling, yeah.
But that's unfortunate. But yeah, it's based on, I think, actual events. And Nicole Kidman is slamming in this.
She really is.
Yeah.
This is her 20-something years ago, so.
Number 6.
Mine, 1972's Original Sleuth, starring Sir Laurence Olivier, Michael Caine.
Oh.
Michael Caine plays the young buck fucking around with Sir Lawrence's wife, and so Sir Lawrence takes him around this whole thing about clues to find out who's cheating, who is my wife cheating with, playing a game with him. It's super talky, but it's also super intriguing because you're trying to see what happens next. Yeah, which of the characters will get the one up on each other. It was remade in 2007 with Michael Caine playing the Sir Laurence Olivier part and a young Jude Law playing the Michael Caine part. They did that before with a movie called Alfie, which sucked balls.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Sleuth, 1972. Great. Number 6.
Number 6.
Okay, you're number 5.
Number 5. All the Real Girls. 2003, starring Zooey Deschanel. One of her earlier works.
Who else was in it?
Paul Schneider. Patricia Clarkson plays the mom of Paul. But I think it was one of those indie flicks. It was,
sounds indie as fuck.
Yeah, but it's a small town setting. When I say small town, I mean like Silver Bullet small town.
Oh, like with the one chapel and shit.
Yeah, and
with the big bell.
Yeah, but so Paul Schneider's character is kind of I want to say a swinger. He can't hold down relationships, so he's the town swinger. Like, everybody knows he's hooked up with every girl.
Ton of chicks.
Yeah, like he's the man. But like, when you look in the town, like, I'm like, this guy, Like really, he's getting. But it's that demographic though. So he finally finds a girl, Zoe Deschanel, that he really likes. Like he loves so much that he doesn't want to have sex with her, like kind of deal.
Yeah, I know what that feels like. Yeah.
Yeah, and she ends up. If you haven't seen it, spoiler. She ends up like cheating on him. Not cheating, but like she had sex with someone else just cause.
Basically called cheating.
Yeah. But and he's so like angry at this point. Like this is later, and I mean throughout the movie we encounter like ex-girlfriends who are still pissed at him or one night stands, but he's really angry at the fact that Zoe cheated on him, and it's kind of like I want to say she did what he did to other girls.
Yeah.
So no, he
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
feels that way. But then it's weird because then they end up having sex together, and then they just like I guess like a one more or just so he can, and then they break off and they don't end up together, which is unfortunate. I think
Sounds terribly indie.
and it's kind of sad, really. Like he was really into this girl. Like it's not one of those just let it go, and just stay together. But no, like he's so furious that they have sex one time and then that's it. So it's kind of a downer of a movie. But I guess you can.
Thanks for putting it on the list.
Like you find that one girl and then you encounter one of those girls that you like her so much that you're not even thinking of that. But then I guess I don't know if she wanted it. And
Well, it's just I think it's a case of she's not that into you.
Oh,
Or
right.
as much as you're into her, you know.
Oh, it could be. Oh, yeah. Well, that's
And that's the universal payback for being such a fucking cad guy.
yeah. He's just a dog, man. Oh, okay.
Why must I be like that?
But yeah, all the real
Why must I
girls.
chase the cat? My number 5, Unfaithful. Have you seen it?
Oh, Diane Lane.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
And fucking
Richard Gere.
Black Catwoman's ex-husband Olivier.
Oh, that was her husband.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
I think he's the baby daddy too.
Oh.
Anyway, this guy is smoldering, just cunt. I want to fucking punch his face. He's such a fuck. Anyways, there are a lot of hot and steamy sex scenes if you like cougars getting at it, in cinema, can't see titties, that kind of shit. But he deserves what he gets when Richard Gere shows up to confront him. He grabs what is that shit? The snow globe?
Yeah, it's a
Where you
snow.
shake it, and he beats him to death with it.
Oh God.
Awesome!
Dear Lord.
But then he turns himself into the cops at the end, and then I'm like, oh, is he gonna reconcile with his wife? Who gives a fuck? She's a cunt.
Jesus.
Just move on, guy. But yeah, that was I feel a powerful enough affair for it to warrant a spot on this at number 5.
Diane Lane. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Number 4. I have The Good Girl, starring Jennifer Aniston.
were just talking about that.
Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal is the younger fellow. So she's in this relationship, or she's married. To John C. Reilly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he's kind of well, it's
Dopey.
and it's another small town. Like everyone knows everyone there.
They got a Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, and I think she's trying to have or they want a child, or he wants a child, but then he's got, I don't know if it's like low sperm count. There's a scene where he has to donate some, and do you remember that part?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I saw this movie, but it just sucked, and I just let it go.
Yeah.
I only watched it because it was around the time where I was like, "Hey, shit, that's Donnie Darko."
But it ends up, Jake Gyllenhaal, they hook up. The scenes are intense with Aniston and Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
John C. Reilly's like friend, I believe, finds out, and in order for him to keep his mouth shut, he wants some from her too. So there's a sex scene between him and her, and it's Tim Blake Nelson, or Brother Where Art Thou.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
Me too.
But his character in this one is as Midwest as can be, and I think that there's a nude scene of him in this one.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Ladies.
But this one was it's a sad ending though. But she ends up getting a baby. But then I think everyone knows it's Jake's.
I have Fatal Attraction. I just love that movie. You know, she will not be ignored. You know, some fucker fucks her on a weekend away at a conference or whatever the fuck he's doing, and then just decides to dispose of her like trash, like a shithead. Well, she's not having that. Boom.
Damn.
That's all I really have to say about that. So number 3.
Okay. Number 3, I have Closer.
Hey, good one.
Natalie Portman, Clive Owen, Julia Roberts,
Jude Law.
Jude Law's in there. Yeah, it's a good cast. Natalie Portman.
That's another Mike Nichols film.
It is.
Yeah,
yes.
we revisit that Mike Nichols with The Graduate.
Yeah,
But
but
also did anyway. Yeah.
Closer is based on a play, actually.
Yeah, it feels play because there's super
Patrick
much
Marber.
dialogue.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
It's
very.
a super dialogue heavy film.
It's really heavy too. The intense scenes. Because they don't show actual cheating. They just talk about it. But that scene with Julia Roberts and Clive Owen.
The violent one?
Yeah, where he's like asking her if she came and like making her like I don't know.
She can't be happy. Her character just can't be happy. She's a cunt.
Yeah, it's really really intense, that one scene. And then you get the scene where Natalie Portman's a stripper
Big time.
and Clive Owen are like asking her to do these things. Like, whoa. But I mean, it's talks about different couples and their state of their relationships, and it gets pretty complex. But they're kind of intertwined, and I think at the end you find out like Natalie Portman is the one who's swinging it.
I don't even remember that.
All right, number 3.
I got The Descendants. I love that film. They showcase Hawaii awesomely, and it's George Clooney playing a cuckolded husband to perfection, man. Even got that chick from fucking what is that vocabulary movie? Invergence or some shit.
Divergence.
Yeah.
Divergent? Oh, okay, Divergent.
Yeah, that chick's in that too, and she supposedly goes to Puno.
Oh, if you can afford it.
But yeah, it's a dope movie. He's trying to deal with his wife who was cheating with him with Matt Lillard, and she got like injured, fucking brain fucked up, dead fucked up, on a jet ski or a skiing accident on the water, and you know he's trying to find out what the fuck went wrong and how to go about the next part because he needs to basically just declare her dead and let her die, while also dealing with should he sell this land he owns on one of the islands to this fucking billionaire hotel corporation, or should he keep it in the family and protect it and guard and watch over it like they were supposed to do. So it's really a great movie, The Descendants. It's directed by Alexander Payne. You know, you might know him from About Schmidt, Sideways, a lot of other dope movies too, and George Clooney in it starring. So it's really great. The Descendants. Great soundtrack too.
Number 2,
2.
The Graduate.
Dope.
Like,
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
and
I've
hello,
come
Mrs.
to talk. Yeah.
Mrs. Robinson.
This to you, Mrs. Robinson. Mrs. Robinson, are you trying to seduce me?
Like she's like totally like.
She's still pretty banging though, Anne Bancroft.
In
That was like
that
85
movie, yeah.
years ago, yeah.
But
I like that shot though. You know, she's like pulling the leggings down, and you can see, you know, where he is. It's like framed under the nape of her leg knee in the doorway.
And they hook up several times, right?
Yeah,
Or is
yeah.
it just once?
Yeah, no, he's Pound Town, big time.
Okay.
But her daughter is hot. I forget the actress's name, but
And then they end up together, which is
yeah. But they also instantly regret it as they're riding away on the bus after he rescues her from her fake marriage. Number 2, I got The Graduate.
oh, ding ding ding.
Sound the bells, sound the bells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen this movie, check it out.
It's like 40 years old, but yeah, Mike Nichols. Boom.
perfectly parodied in Wayne's World 2.
Which I totally forgot, so. But yeah, probably awesome, right? So whatever, yeah.
All right.
So, what?
Honorable mentions. I have first one, 1 Hour Photo.
Creepy as fuck.
Number 2, Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Oh,
Tyler Perry. Get
Get the fuck out with that.
Shit. It's honorable mention because again, like the way he kind of just dumps his wife, like all of a sudden.
Anyway, yeah, number 3.
Troy. I mean, that's he stole Legolas.
Paris.
Yeah, he stole the girl on their way to
Brendan
Troy.
Gleeson.
Honorable mentions.
I have American Beauty.
Okay.
Yeah. Cape Fear.
Oh wow.
That was a good one, right?
Yeah.
I'm smarter than you. I'm this than you. I take the original or I take the De Niro one. Either they're good. And the Sleuth remake of 2007. That was good. It was a little more cinematic in the way it was done than the original, but still, Laurence Olivier. Okay, number 1.
Number 1, American Beauty.
Wow.
Annette Bening.
It was super film noir about the American midlife crisis. So, I mean, that's really cool.
Yes, it was. But then you got
Annette Bening was great too. Yeah.
Kevin Spacey had the opportunity, but I think he was the more sane one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause
well, he didn't fuck the girl.
He didn't, but he realized, this is a young girl, and he didn't want to cheat on his wife. And then at the end, he wanted to make that work, right?
Right.
But then
Chris Cooper. The Bridges of Madison County.
God damn it.
Bro, it's such a bomb movie.
Okay.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, she's married to that dude, Richard. He came over in the war when she was in Italy. Well, I was going to say Italia. And then brought him over. They had some kids. But he meets this dude. Oh, no. Maybe her husband's name is something else. But I think the dude she meets is Richard Kincaid or Robert Kincaid. And then he's just this exciting, badass dude. He got a dog, he got a truck, he smokes, he takes pictures in wars, he takes pictures of bridges for National Geographic. He's been there, he's done that, he's lived this, he's loved that, and he's just exciting, and he feels passion for her, and it reignites her, starts getting the juices flowing, even in her old middle-aged ass. Francesca was her name. But she realizes after this trip, she has to go back to who she was in her life, her kids, her family, her husband, and then only after her death does she make it be known to her kids so they can know who their mother truly was.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And her ashes get sprinkled
All right.
on one of the bridges of Madison County. Okay, yeah, 706.
Kind of a random list. Who the fuck cares about affair movies?
Yo mama, probably.
Whatevs. We done?
Now we gotta do the outro, bitch.
And do the outro, bitch.
Once again, thanks for stopping by and checking out today's show. Check out past episodes on iTunes if you're bored, and subscribe if you haven't already. Tell a friend, tell your friend's wife, have an affair, listen to the show while you're having an affair, Instagram it and tag us. Also, you'd be doing us a hell of a favor if you'd kindly leave a review on iTunes and rate the show. Check us out on Twitter at cynical_mass. Lastly, Ono and Schrody are the gay ones. There's also nothing wrong with being gay, just wanted to make it clear who's the gay ones here. So, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, okay. CINECAL_MASS.
I'm serious.
Same goes for Instagram and Facebook. Please do check out our YouTube channel. We've got a bunch of playlists and also past episodes along with trailers on there too. Just search Nekko Media. That's NEKKO. And if you'd like to get into contact with us with any questions or comments, recommendations, general correspondence, stories of your tawdry affairs, anything at all, shoot us an email, cinephiles@cenobites@gmail.com. We're also on Tumblr at cinephiles-cenobites.tumblr.com. New episodes every 1st and 5th Mondays of the month.
Shout out to the /tag Potter and family, /tag Movie Pod Squad, John and Rachel at Don't Go Down That Road, Brandon and the homies at Basement Condition, Chris and the Iowa boys of Bud's Beer's Brutality, showing off John and his new cast now in Technicolor, Cult 45, Podcast Kung Fu Drive-In, The Cutaways, and all of the homies out there in the podcastiverse. Respect. And stay rating, Oakland. Fuck Vegas.
Thanks again for checking out today's episode. I'm Onofre on the tweets at This Is Ono. That's This Is OHNO. Please check out my music podcast, takingtheleadmedia.com, on Twitter at TTLM Podcast. Some cool themed episodes coming up real soon.
Dope.
Also, my gaming channel, search on YouTube, Gimme Seconds, on Twitter at Gimme Seconds.
Dope.
Speedrun Thursdays are back on, so please do check that out. New videos coming up soon.
From the Blood Cave for Nekko Media, this has been Cinephiles and Cenobites, member of the Slashtag. The fuck is it? Slashtag Podder family and the Movie Pod Squad. Slashtag Movie Pod Squad. I'm Schrody, wishing you lucid dreams. For Mox and Ono and that catty cunt Annika Pussyfoot, keep the lights on and check under that bed. Keep the lights on and check under that bed. Because there's only one universal truth. No lives matter. That means you.
We have candy.
This is a Nekko Media podcast.